Tropical Storm Imelda is strengthening into a hurricane, but in a shocking twist, it's making a 90-degree turn away from the southeastern U.S. I'll break down why this track shifted and how this completely changes U.S. impacts. But first, if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button for more tropical weather updates. We have Tropical Storm Imelda with maximum sustained winds right now at 65 miles an hour, and those are going up. It's expected to become a hurricane later tonight, if it's not getting there already. But then we also have a few hundred miles to the east of it, we have Hurricane Humberto with maximum winds of 140 miles an hour, a very powerful Category 4 hurricane, and this is actually part of what's affecting the track of Imelda. But also notice that a lot of the clouds and showers and thunderstorms from Imelda are being pulled to the north, far to the north of the storm system. You can see a lot of the outflow reaching all the way up into the northeastern U.S. That's wild. We do have rain expected across the Carolinas that's happening now, and that will continue for some time, but nothing near the level of impacts that we were expecting before. It will strengthen as a Category 1 hurricane, possibly all the way up to 85 miles an hour. By the time we get to Wednesday, it could be a Category 2 hurricane. So it is expected to strengthen quite a bit, but then we also have Humberto, and it's weakening down, but it's still going to be a pretty powerful hurricane. And on Saturday, it was a Category 5 hurricane. So a very powerful hurricane that will actually be affecting the track of Imelda, creating sort of a Fujiwara effect, where as Humberto pulls to the north, Imelda wants to move towards the east, really pulling it away from the U.S., which is a good thing, because if before it was looking like a potential landfall, then we're looking at it potentially stalling off the coast of the Carolinas for a while. Now it's not even gonna really cause very many impacts, which is a good thing. And part of that is because it's slowed down, because before it was looking like it would hit around Monday night or Tuesday, but then it kind of started slowing down, and now we're looking at it being still over the northern Bahamas, and then it's going to make that turn. So the intensity guidance does show it strengthening into a hurricane pretty quickly, possibly even a high-end Category 1 or Category 2 hurricane over the next 2 to 3 days before it starts coming back down. Then we have Humberto. It's still a Category 4, but the intensity is going to be weakening down as we go forward, and it's at some point in the next few days it will probably be more of an extratropical cyclone. Here's a look at the ensembles showing this track still moving to the north a little bit through tonight, but then it really is, it's like a sudden, right angle turn off to the east as Humberto moves to the north. And so what's going to happen is then Imelda is wanting to try and go around the more powerful Hurricane Humberto over the next couple days. Really, by Wednesday, we're looking at Imelda pretty far away from the southeastern U.S., really not going to be causing very many impacts, even though it could strengthen into a more powerful storm system. And then it could end up hitting Bermuda also. And then before it kind of just goes out into the open Atlantic and starts weakening down in the central Atlantic, they're turning into a more non-tropical system going towards the weekend. And then some of the ensembles are showing potential for maybe another storm system trying to develop next week. We'll have to see what happens there. But that's pretty much what's happening with Imelda. There are tropical storm force winds continuing over the Bahamas over the next few hours, but then that's going to pretty much be the end of the impacts. Besides Bermuda should be watching for a hurricane impact, but southeastern U.S. is looking better than it was before. And here are the key messages for Tropical Storm Imelda. It is forecast to intensify into a hurricane on Tuesday, with the cyclone approaching Bermuda during the day on Wednesday as a hurricane. Hurricane watch is in effect for Bermuda, and tropical storm force winds will begin on Wednesday afternoon for them. Also, tropical storm conditions continue for another few hours in the northwestern Bahamas, and then also the rainfall. That's going to produce some potential flooding, and also potential flooding in the Carolinas. Even though Imelda is moving away, there is a lot of that rain being pushed to the north of the storm system, and that could lead to some heavy rainfall and flooding problems along the coast through tonight, they're saying. And also there's swells and high surf that will be impacting the east coast of the U.S. over the next several days, even though these storms are further out to sea. Here's a look at the HAFS A model. This is actually a pretty interesting forecast. We have, going into tonight and tomorrow, we have Imelda strengthening into a hurricane, but then this is showing an even more dramatic Fujiwara effect than just the ensembles and the official cone was showing. They're showing Humberto moves northwest, almost starts moving west before Imelda starts going east, and then circles around Humberto, and the two actually merge into a very huge and powerful area of low pressure out in the northern Atlantic, moving towards Atlantic Canada, kind of towards the end of the week. So this is an interesting scenario. It's probably even a little more dramatic than some of the other forecast models, showing this merging into one very large storm system by Wednesday afternoon or Wednesday evening. That's an interesting forecast. Then we have the GFS model showing the two storms actually stay separate, but still moving in the same direction, going east. Humberto actually hits the UK as a very powerful extratropical cyclone. Imelda kind of follows in the same direction as well. And then the GFS model spinning up another tropical system around Wednesday, October 8th. And then we have another storm system near the Caribbean trying to form by the middle of October. So the tropics are not shut down after Humberto and Imelda just yet, necessarily. But then we have the GFS showing that these two hurricanes merge into a much bigger trough over the next few days, even though Imelda kind of stays separate for a little bit longer. Then we have the AI Euro model showing the two hurricanes really merging into one very big, more powerful, non-tropical area of low pressure. And they're also showing another tropical system in the Atlantic after these two. But yeah, that's pretty much what's happening with the track. It's dramatically shifted. We went from looking at a potential landfall a few days ago to it stalling right off the coast of South Carolina and dumping 2 feet of rain to now nothing, just going out to sea. And now Bermuda has to be watching it, but very little impacts for the U.S. Like, even though the rainfall accumulations have gone down dramatically, we're looking at possibly 2 inches of rain. This is going all the way from basically now all the way through Friday for the next 5 days. Basically, we're looking at maybe 2 inches of rain along the east coast of Florida, and then the Carolinas looking at maybe half an inch of rain to another inch. Like, maybe a high resolution model could show more thunderstorm activity, but no, actually basically the same thing, showing a half inch to an inch of rain over the next couple days. The Bahamas could be looking at a little more rain, more like 2 to 4 inches of rainfall. Most of that has already happened, but still another couple inches of rainfall over the next day or so could still lead to some flooding. And also we have Bermuda looking at some pretty heavy rain, possibly 4 inches of rain. But the rainfall accumulations have gone down quite a bit, especially for the Southeastern U.S. We went from 2 feet of rain to nothing. This is a wild forecast shift. Then we have, in terms of the wind, also that's definitely changed as well. We're looking at maybe wind gusts of 35 to 40 miles an hour along the coast of the Carolinas. Maybe the Outer Banks looking at 45 mile an hour wind gusts. Nothing too serious. Now Bermuda should be watching for hurricane force wind gusts over the next few days as Hurricane Imelda moves towards that area. So that's the update on what's happening with Imelda. Basically, for the Southeastern U.S., it's going away, not anything too serious happening from it, and that's a good thing. But now Bermuda has to be watching for impacts. Also, Humberto still not expected to impact any land areas, so that's That's pretty much what's happening in the tropics. If you liked this video, please be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already, share the video, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for more weather updates on the tropics. Thanks for watching. Extreme Weather Zone, out.